Hiya. So the thing about the library at the minute is that it's closed for browsing, so you can't just go in and like have a wander around. But they do a click and collect. And there are two ways that you can do click and collect. You can either do one where you put the books that you want on hold, like you go through their catalogue and you're like, I want that book, put it on hold, or a grab bag where you just tell them roughly your interests and they'll give you 5 books just randomly. So I've been going with the first option mainly so far, but it's not working, and the problem is that there's no transfer service between libraries, and I didn't understand this until I phoned up about one of them and she explained it to me. So normally, like, you put a book on hold and you want to pick it up at your local library, like the local branch. So they'll, like, the person that has it before you will return it to like the central branch, and then a big van with a guy will take it from the central branch to your local branch because you have all done it. So they're not doing that anymore. Basically, because loads of the branches are closed and there's no transfer or whatever, like if it's turned into one of the libraries, you have to go to that library and get it, and some of them are quite far out. Like one of my holds ended up at Ely Library, which is just really far out. Like, I don't really drive. I don't know how the hell I was supposed to get there, but she sort of lost the book anyway. I talked to her on the phone. She's like, I know it's in the library somewhere. I've seen it. Anyway, and sort of thinking about how loads of the different libraries are closed and how they're not requiring people to get their books back for a time at the minute. Because obviously if you're shielding and can't go out, you can't take your library books back. And they're like, that's perfectly acceptable. So half or more than half of like all of Cardiff Library System's books are locked up in places, you know, but there's no way for me to tell which books those are. Like, the system still thinks that they'll pop up in circulation when in reality they're locked behind closed doors, like branch libraries and in people's houses and stuff. So I've had 5 things on hold for ages and they're just not coming up. So Sean at Pasteur Time recently did like a library haul, or like a book haul that included loads of library books, and they're really good ones. And I was like, geez, how'd you do that? Like, I need to know the secret of how you did it. And she's like, oh, I think I just got really lucky, but we should try the grab bag. I was like, oh god, no, like it's gonna be a little old lady like giving us the worst books. And she's like, yeah, we should do it. So and that, like, when I saw it as like a way to get books I want, the grab bag was obviously not the way that I was going to do that. But now that I see it as like a project, just to see like what books a little old lady in the library is going to give to me, now I'm super excited about it and I signed up for it. And they gave me an appointment for later today, like 5:20. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'll show you what I've got when I get them. But like, you had to sort of put in like a little box. Like, first you sort of said your name and everything on the form, and then it had just a space like this big for your interests or whatever. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that was a very like vague questioning sort of thing. Like, what are my interests? So I had to sort of like say, I don't know, I sort of went with the tact of like books that are new-ish, you know, or like bestsellers or like new releases like that, thinking that's kind of my shtick, isn't it? Like, I'll read literally anything as long as like 8,000 other people have read it and liked it. I'm quite shallow. So I like went with that. I was like, can I please have bestsellers slash new releases, any sort of like, you know, adult YA or like middle grade. I'm fine with that. But like I like specifically said on there, like, please nothing about death or like medical emergencies or the NHS or anything like that, because like I've had enough. I just envision like loads of the new like bestsellers and everything nowadays are sort of pandemic related. Like, loads of people have been really interested in pandemic stuff, so they've been reading a lot about it. So all like the newest and best books of the minute are about that, and I just don't understand. Like, it gives me anxiety. Like, I just don't want to read about that. So I've said on there, like, please don't give me that. And also I said like no cookbooks or whatever. And when the lady phoned me back, she like called me and she's like, Heather? I was like, oh yeah. You know, she's like, this is so-and-so from the library. I've put some books together for you. Like, how she said it made me think like, I don't know, she's expecting me to feel awkward about what I put on there. Like we were both feeling really awkward about her knowing what I put on the form and her having like gone through all the books to sort of find ones for me. So I don't know, but she was definitely like, did sound like quite a little old lady. So I'm pretty excited to see what I got. I did that thing where you arrive to somewhere early and then you sort of do a bit of time wasting, but then you accidentally waste too much time, so now I'm really late for my appointment to the library. Okay, y'all, I got this shit. We'll see what I got. Actually, something I didn't think about before. 5 books is really heavy. Like, I always just have like 1 or 2 books at a time that I'm like carting all the way home. But 5 books, ugh. Plus 1 more because in my time wasting I went to the bookstore and bought one. But now I have to cart it all the way home. It's like a 1.5 mile walk. 6 books. I didn't think this one through. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I am sweaty. I'm so sweaty. It's so hot outside. This bag is so heavy. Anyway, I hope that they're good books. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm gonna look at them now. But I hope to God they're good, because if I have to haul them all back together, all 5 of them, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna need to read some and then bring them back piecemeal, one by one. And if they're all terrible, why? Okay, what have we got? What have we got, babes?
We got this.
Okay, what's this one? The River Home by Hannah Richell. Okay, so this one, in the ramshackle Somerset home, its gardens running down to the river, the Sorrels have gathered for a last-minute wedding. Lucy is desperate to reunite her fractured family. Brought together for a week of celebration and confrontation, family relationships are stretched to breaking point, but can you ever heal the wounds of the past? So I feel like, still after that, I know nothing about this book. They just go to a wedding and fight with each other? We'll look at the reviews and see what they say. Actually, it has 4.15 stars. Oh yeah, 4 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. The reviews are actually pretty good. 5 stars. 5 stars. Yeah, okay, maybe it's better than it sounds. Oh, okay, so the next one is You Have to Make Your Own Fun Around Here by Frances Mackin. I've not heard of this one either. I've literally never heard of these. A funny, poignant tale of youth, envy, and the dark side of friendship. Ooh, I think I'm in. Friends since childhood. Katie, Maeve, and Evelyn dream of escaping the tiny Irish town of Glenbrough. Oh, I love things that are set in Ireland. Outspoken, unpredictable, and intoxicating, Evelyn is the undisputed leader of the trio. That is, until an outsider arrives from Dublin and changes Glenbrough forever. Filled with unforgettable characters and fizzing with the voice of rural Ireland, You Have to Make Your Own Fun Around Here is the vibrant story of 3 young women and their battle to leave the past behind. Oh, I think that one looks good. I wonder if I've never heard of these before. Okay, anyway. Next one is, ooh, whoa, what? East of Croydon by Sue Perkins. Sue Perkins, where do we know her from? We've seen Sue Perkins before, right? She's like that tall woman with like the short hair. Where do I know her from? Hello, I am coming to you from the future. I've just googled Sue Perkins. She's in Bake Off.
What?
Duh. Okay, a few years ago, I was asked if I'd like to make a documentary on the Mekong River, traveling from the vast delta in Vietnam to the remote and snowy peaks of Tibet. Up until that point, the farthest east I'd been was Torremolinos in the Costa del Sol. Here's the thing, I'm scared of flying, I have 0 practical skills, I can't survive if I'm more than a 3-minute walk from a supermarket. For the last 7 years I've suffered from crippling anxiety, I bolt when panicked, I cannot bear to witness humans or animals in distress, I have no ability to learn languages, I'm a terrible hypochondriac, I'm no good with boats. So I said yes. That's just basically me, isn't it? I travel loads and all those things are true about me. Do you know what a hypochondriac is? We'll talk about it later. I think I might like that one. I like a bit of a memoir, me, and like a traveling memoir. I like. Okay, next. This one is The Good, the Bad, and the Little Bit Stupid by Marina Laurica. I don't know how you say that, it's like Polish. I've read one of hers before already. I think the one that's to do with tractors. Like, it's not actually about tractors, but it's like these 2 sisters, like one actually from Poland and one not from Poland. Anyway, it was good. I liked it. Anyway, okay, this one. George's in a pickle. After walking out on his wife Rosie on referendum night, 2016, to shack up with hairdresser Brexit Brenda next door, he thinks he's got it made, especially when he wins millions on a Kosovan Kosovan lottery he only vaguely remembers entering. Unfortunately, he's forgotten his password and can't get out his money, which is a problem because he suddenly has to contend with lots of forceful new friends desperate to know his mother's maiden name. As things quickly get out of hand, George must make a mad dash from Sheffield to the Adriatic and into the arms of organized crime gangs who specialize in illegal kidney transplants and heroin smuggling. George is in need of rescue, both from this pickle and from himself. But will his son, sensible Sid, Brenda and Rosie put aside their differences long enough to help? And might the journey bring this dysfunctional family back together? Okay, that one actually sounds really good. I think that's gonna be a really good one. Yeah, I quite liked the other one that she wrote. So, like, my husband has a story as well. He went to this place called Transnistria or something, sort of the summer before he met me, because he quite likes these sort of breakaway places. Like, he and I have been to a couple now together. But he went to this place. It's like part of, I don't know, Romania, I want to say, or I don't know, like in that area. I can look up. But it's like a break-off part, like when they left the Soviet Union, that like region was really angry at leaving the Soviet Union. They wanted to still be part of it. So like apparently they're like really dictatory, the gangsters and mobsters basically run the region or something like that. And he ended up drinking with a couple of them on accident because he didn't know who they were. They just kept buying him drinks and he was like, oh, drinking it. And then some other guy, like a journalist or something, came over him and was like, you're drinking with a very bad man. And he was like, oh shit. But anyway, that sort of like reminds me of that, so I'm excited about that. Hey, do me, last one. What?
What, man?
This one looks weird. This one's called Biophilia, You, Nature, Home, a handbook for bringing the natural world into your life. I like the inside cover of it. Oh, look. It's like, I don't know, it's like a sort of like illustrated type thing, like an art sort of book, I guess. Each section explores the links between home, health, and happiness, drawing on environmental research and neuroscience while making practical suggestions for bringing the natural world into your home. I think I might like this one. Is that weird? It's definitely not something that I would have ever gotten, but I'll give it a go. It looks like a quick read because they're not, you know, it's not like words end to end on each page. Quite a lot of it's pictures. And you know, I've always thought people that have like gardens in their house, you know, like a houseplant garden, loads of houseplants. I always think I would love to have that and to sort of live in like a little garden. But I kill things quite intensely. Like I have the ultimate brown thumb. Like anything that enters my house, it's like a death sentence and I feel sad about it. So if I can bring nature into my house in other ways, you know, through things that are plastic and don't die, that would be really cool. I think I'm gonna like that. Also, just not including the library haul, but the time wasting I had to do in the bookstore that accidentally almost made me late for my appointment. I got this one. Alan Garner's The Owl Service. It's like a little kid's classic. It's like, you know, middle grade-y, you know. And it takes place in Wales and it has an introduction by Philip Pullman. He's the guy who does Northern Lights. So I've never heard of this one, even though it takes place in Wales and it has all these like awards and it's like a kid's classic. But I think it looks really good. Something old and powerful is stirring in the Welsh Valley. Alison, Roger and Gwyn can all feel it, but only Hugh seems to understand it. Inevitably, forces from the past overwhelm the present. Will any of them be strong enough to forestall the fate that threatens? Boom. Hey, are you excited? She's excited. She's just got like low expression for excitement. You're not excited.
Oh.
How dare you? I think of the ones that I got, I'm only potentially not into that one, really. And I think it's mainly because I don't really know what it's about, and also it looks like it's just about like a family bickering with each other. Like I have that in my own life. Like, I don't need that in a book, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna get on with these and read them and let you know if I like them or not. I'll keep you updated. If any of you have read any of these or have any thoughts about them, I obviously would very much appreciate more information if you have any for me. And other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!